Hello and welcome to my meditation. I'm beginning it like this for a reason. Doesn't this look spooky? And if I zoom in closely, there's actually the Pacific Ocean out there. Oops. Ooh. So my name is Debra Baker, and I wanted to show you that glimpse of what's behind me because today's meditation is going to be all about acceptance. So thank you so much for joining me. I have a little story to tell as we get into the meditation. So let's begin with our 3 deep breaths. Breathing all the way down into our bellies. And once more. Oh, the deepest breath you've taken all day. Hold it for a second and then release it fully. Just really let it go. Yeah, so let's do a short ABCD and awaken our awareness of our oneness with God, with all that is, knowing that we are infinite spirit, having a human experience, and breathing, making conscious contact with our higher powers, saying, God, help me to hear what I need to hear in this meditation, and if there's something that's not for me, close my ears to it, or allow me to just let it go. And I open myself up to downloading, to receiving everything I need for this day, for this week. So I invite you to get settled in. Let go of all of the stress and tension for the day. I don't know if the microphone is picking up. There's some seagulls back there having a discussion. So just feel your feet, legs, letting go, your lower torso, just relaxing, taking in whatever peace, love that you need, and releasing anything that no longer serves you. Feel it through your midsection. Your chest, all the way down your arms, your hands, your neck. Just let go. You may notice that I have changed locations yet again. I say yet again because I have stopped the video a few times to make adjustments, but I was encountering a lot of noise. I hope you get a good laugh out of this, as I am, because I've made lots of starts and stops in this video, as would be appropriate for a video or a meditation about acceptance. So by now we've allowed our bodies to release up to our necks. Bring your shoulders up, bring them back down. Maybe roll your head around a couple different ways. My yoga teacher says, draw a circle with your nose. Yeah. So let's just let go for a minute and be. Tune into your breathing. Just hear your breath going in and out. And if you want to, put your hand over your heart space, and I'll be quiet for a moment. And just figure out if you can feel your heart beating or you can hear your heart beating, or both, or which you hear, which is louder. And maybe you notice as you are tuning into your heartbeat, your breathing getting a little deeper. Accepting life on life's terms. So there's a balance that we are invited to find as we lead a spiritual life. A balance between setting intentions, steering the ship, charting our course, and accepting what is. Accepting what life throws at us. Accepting life on life's terms. So the goal is this neutral place, this middle ground. I've heard the saying, expectations are premeditated resentments, and so the opposite of expectation is acceptance. It doesn't mean that we don't make plans, we don't set intentions, we don't, chart the course, but then we also invite whimsy and magic into our lives while we are following the course, or maybe the course gets detoured. So the reason why I began this meditation with the picture of the fog was we are on vacation here in Long Beach, Washington, which is on the Pacific coast. And for the first, we got here on Thursday afternoon, and we didn't see the sunshine at our condo until Saturday morning. And we had seen all these pictures of this beautiful coast and this boardwalk, and we had all these expectations of it being this magical, wonderful place. And the universe had other ideas, which was just almost like this veil came down, and while this may be a beautiful, wonderful place, you can't see it. And you could see this morning the weather pattern is often, as I understand now, fog coming in late afternoon, so you rarely get to see a sunset, and then staying until the sun burns it off the next day. We didn't know that, and we could be very upset and angry about it, and stomping our feet and ruining the time here, or embrace it and accept what is. So I would like to think that most of the time we have been in a place of acceptance and met some wonderful people, and just really had some great experiences. And so I invite you to think about, I forgot to turn the phone off too. I invite you to think about times when your plans went awry and it turned out better than you expected. Either in major things, like this was somebody you thought you'd marry and it turned out that wasn't to be the case, and more minor things like, we had planned to, sit on our lanai and watch the sunset every night. So then you focus on the good. You focus on what is going, well. We can control our own thoughts, words, and actions. And all the rest of it we're powerless over, right? So I'm powerless over the weather, certainly. I am powerless over a whole lot of things. But I'm not powerless over how I react to it. And being in acceptance means, it truly, thank you God, I wouldn't have it any other way. And I may never, well, it may take me a while to kind of get a sense of this experience and how it didn't turn out as we expected. Maybe it'll just be an experience as it is, getting to experience deep, intense fog. But God is in the midst of all of it, whether it's fog or sunshine, chilly. I'm dressed warmly. It was colder than I thought it would be too, which is okay. When I start to focus on what I can control, what I do have power over, which is my attitude, and I can see that we're on vacation. I'm with, my wonderful husband. I'm, so blessed to be able to take a vacation. So many wonderful things. So I invite you to just look at your life for a second. And look at the things that are easy to accept. I would presume you have a roof over your head. And I hope that where you live brings you joy, brings you peace. Just think about the people in your life. So we all came here to have these human experiences that we are having. And I invite you to think about who you came here to love. Sometimes people are easy to love, and sometimes they're not so easy. I've had my fair share, and I would imagine everyone has had their fair share of people who are difficult to love. And sometimes we have to love them from a distance. But the idea is to, even if we have distance from that place, to come from your heart, to send love, peace, joy, acceptance. Sometimes people are unable to give us what we need or to show up in a relationship in a way that we would wish, that we would hope for. And so we just look at that inability and love them anyway. And pray that they find relationships that are fulfilling to them. And I had started that thought with think about people who are easy to love. I'm so blessed with 10 beautiful grandchildren. And how could you not love them? And the families that my children brought into our family when they married. We've been so blessed, Judy. One of my extended family members often listens to the meditations. And I'm so grateful, because I would never have met her if my daughter hadn't married her son. My daughter married my daughter's husband, which was Judy's son. So let's take a moment and just imagine that the unfolding of the human experience is this great tapestry, and we each have our own threads, or maybe our own little section, our own pattern, and we can't really see how it all works out from our own little section. I can think of, I mentioned earlier unanswered prayer and answered prayer. Things that I wanted to happen, things I didn't want to happen. But life happens in this moment, right? So in this moment, I invite you to feel in total acceptance of the world as it is, of your life as it is. And maybe you're living in a question. Maybe there's something that's going on and you don't know how it's going to turn out. Really, we don't know how any of it's going to turn out. I remember when I was pregnant with my 3 daughters, you always have that question of when am I going to deliver? When's this baby going to arrive? Unless you have a planned C-section, which I didn't. And as my father was dying, having this sense of when is this going to happen? And those things, the entrances and the exits of these earthly experiences are out of our control. Especially others. And so fighting it, resisting it, only causes us hardship. Hardship and heartache. Hardship. Imagine you can breathe in acceptance. You can say to yourself and truly, truly mean, thank you, God, I wouldn't have it any other way. Just be in the moment. And know that the moment that you are in is the only thing that is real. Everything else is up here. Everything else is in your mind, in your memories or your perception. But the moment that you look around, or if you have your eyes closed, that you can sense with your 5 senses, or 4 if you have your eyes closed. The moment that you are experiencing right now is life. Life happens now, right? And fighting, resisting it, takes the joy out. And I'm not saying I'm perfect at it by any means, but I try to circle back to, thank you, God, I wouldn't have it any other way. And know that this one presence and this one power is moving in, through, and as each one of us, creating the path before us. And we let it go, and we know that we can trust the one presence and the one power as it moves in, through, and as us, to bring us adventures and joy and all sorts of variety of experiences. And so I thank you from the bottom of my heart for sharing this experience with me. I am hopeful that in the remaining days that we are here, I might see some beautiful scenes that I can put pictures of at the end of this video. Meanwhile, my heart opens to you in unconditional love and acceptance. The one presence moving in, through, and as me sees, honors, accepts, enjoys, appreciates the one presence moving in, through, and as you. You are whole and perfect exactly as you are. Namaste.